Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I will be creating a look using my Rockstar Palette, a few other products in between, but if you like this video, make sure to show me some love by hitting that like button. Also, if you haven't already subscribed, please do, and sign up for notifications if you'd like to know when I'm posting new videos. Today I'm here with Stephanie. Say hi, Stephanie.
Hi everyone.
Stephanie is either she's lucky or she's really kind of crazy to let me put my hands on her, but we're gonna create a rock and roll style look. Are you ready for it?
Oh, I'm ready.
You're ready for it. You look like you have a little rock and roll in you.
I do, a little bit.
All right. There we go. So I will just kind of give you a bird's eye view. I'm just going to keep this kind of casual. As I start, I will give you a little bit of an indication as to which products I'm using, and then you can just watch how they are applied. Stephanie and I will interact throughout the video. Hopefully she'll ask me some of the questions that you are asking yourselves while you're watching this, and let's just have a lot of fun. Ready?
Ready to go.
All right, let's do it. To start the look, I'm going to prep with Glow Drops. Glow Drops is one of my newest products that I just recently launched. Have you heard of Glow Drops before?
I've never heard of that, no.
So Glow Drops is a liquid illuminator, and I'll take the cap off and let you see what it's like. It's kind of better explained through the visual of it all, so I can put this on the back of your hand.
Okay.
So it differs from a glow powder. Glow powders are finishing products. So you put those on your skin after everything is done, and
like a highlighter.
It's definitely a highlighter.
Okay.
The Glow Drops are more of illuminator. So you can use this underneath your foundation. You can take a look at that. So it just gives you a really nice sheen, a suppleness, a radiance to the skin.
Okay.
So I'm going to use this under your foundation, and then I'm going to place your foundation right on top of it. Even after I place the foundation on top of it, you're going to get a luminosity from the application of the Glow Drops that's going to really shine through your foundation. So it's really just going to keep your skin looking supple throughout the evening.
Great.
And you can't be a rock star without dewy looking glowy skin. Absolutely. So I just dispense a little bit of the product onto my airbrush effects brush. This is also known to many people as a stippling brush. I call it airbrush effects brush because the head of the brush is packed a little looser. So you see how the white hairs are kind of separated from the dark hairs. Right. You can see that there as well. And what that does is it gives me a really nice diffused application. Most airbrush effects brush or stippling brushes do the same thing, but when they're packed denser, you don't get as nice of a application. So it's all about, you know, just kind of fussing with the bristles until they give me the effect I'm looking for. And this brush delivers an airbrush effects look. Now, on first sight, you may think that the Glow Drops are too luminous, but that is what we want. We want to make sure that we have enough luminosity that is going to play through the foundation that we put on top of this. Now you can also use your Glow Drops as a topper, like a lipstick topper, or to add a little bit of highlight on top of your finished look as well. So it can be used as a finishing product, but this is best used as an illuminator to complement and give your skin a really beautiful, natural looking glow.
So it kind of peeks through the foundation.
It does, yep, absolutely. It's got enough brilliance to it that it refracts light. So it gives you a really nice effect. This is also something that I recommend to girls and guys who are going to the beach and they want a little extra kind of sheen to their body. It really just kind of amplifies sexiness. If you believe that or not, you know. Okay, so we are really glowing right now, and that's okay. Typically, if I was just using this on its own, and let's say Stephanie's going to the beach, I would just put a little drop on the forehead, chin, and each cheek, and then blend that away. Really thin application. For this application, I'm putting foundation over top of it, so I want to make sure I have enough of the Glow Drops on the skin that are actually going to push an illumination through the foundation. Now that we have the Glow Drops applied to the skin, I'm going to move on to foundation. This foundation is my Luxlight Revitalizing foundation. If you've seen my videos before, if you watched my Instagram live sessions, you'll know that this is my favorite foundation out of my brand. I love them all, but this is the one I wear. The reason I love the Luxlight Revitalizing Foundation is it also brings a suppleness to the skin. It keeps your skin hydrated. It has a nice little jasmine scent to it, which you'll probably catch as I apply it. So all in all, it's just a really great experience, and it wears well, and it's got a light to medium coverage. And if you want a little bit of extra coverage, you can go on a little heavier, and it'll give you somewhat of a full coverage. I don't believe in a full coverage. I think if you want full coverage, you can use like powders, like a mineral foundation powder to help give you more coverage.
Okay.
But for now, this is just like the perfect foundation as is. So I'm working from a little palette. I mixed a couple different shades together to get the perfect match for Stephanie. I am using my pointed foundation brush. I love using a pointed foundation brush as opposed to a flat foundation brush. I have one of those as well. But the reason I like the pointed foundation brush is as I get close to the hairline, it allows me, that point allows me to get really close without getting a lot of foundation into your hair, which is something we want to make sure we try to prevent. This may look a little light at first, but I have plans to go back and put some bronzer in, some contour. So just bear with me as we see the process kind of evolve. So when I'm applying foundation, I like to start in the middle of the face. So down the forehead, nose, edge of chin, and then on each of the cheeks. Once I do that, I just try to work again from the center of the face outward. And what I'm trying to achieve is a drop off of the foundation. So I'm not going to bring the foundation all the way under your jawline. I'm just going to brighten up the center of your face.
Okay.
And we're looking really pretty right now. I'm not going to let you see the mirror yet. Now that I have the foundation on your face, I'm going to switch to this little puff and just kind of wrap it around my finger like that, and then just kind of roll it over the skin, over the foundation. This is going to help lift any excess foundation off the skin.
So it doesn't look cakey.
It's not going to look cakey.
Right.
It's going to give me a better blend, a better match into your skin.
Okay.
It's a nice way to distribute your foundation. A lot of times we just stick to a brush to apply foundation, and what we don't really realize is that your brush is just moving foundation around. A sponge like this or a puff is actually going to lift any of the excess product. So you're doing two things at once. You're blending away the foundation, and then you're getting rid of the excess. Okay, so I am going to use a little bit of an eye primer. So close your eyes for me. We're going to create a nice, solid working space for the eyeshadow application. I like to put my primer on just a few seconds before I'm ready to do the eye application. It gives it time to set. In this case, what I'm going to do is I'm applying your eye primer first, then I'm going to go work on your brows, and I'll come back to the eye. So we'll definitely have enough time for this to set. Now I'm going to move on to the brows, and for the brows, I often like to use my Smokey eye palette. It's called the Ultimate Smokey Eye Palette, so it's great for obviously creating a smoky eye. But if you look closely at the shades, there are 3 matte shades within the palette, and then there's a shimmery shade. Now, I wouldn't use the shimmery shade for your brows, obviously. That's the shimmery shade up here. But these other 3 shades are perfect for mixing and matching to achieve pretty much any level of brow color and intensity. So it's pretty much my go-to palette for brows.
Okay.
So for you, I'm going to use just a little bit, a mixture of the 3 shades here. You don't have like the darkest hair color, so I don't really want to over-saturate your brows. Usually the rule is about 1 to 2 shades darker than your hair, but black would be way too much. So I'm just going to kind of tap into a little bit of the lighter shade, and then once or twice into the brown, and just ever so slightly into the black. And that should give me enough of a combo color for your brows there.
Yeah, that looks good.
So I'm using an angled eyeliner brush, and the angled eyeliner brush has a tip to it because of the angle. So I'm using the tip of the brush rather than going at it flat like that. So I'm turning my brush this way and I'm using the tip of the brush to...
Okay, use the point.
Yeah. And that's just to sketch the first bit of color on. Then I'll turn the brush over and deepen the application.
Take a trip into my garden. I've got so much to show you. The fountains and the waters are begging just to know you. It's true, baby. I've been saving this for...
Okay, so now it's time for the star of the show, the Rockstar Palette. I have been waiting so long for this little baby to launch. It kind of embodies everything about the Eddie Funkhouser brand. Really just has such a nice spirit to it. And the colors are really reminiscent of, you know, that rock and roll vibe. Yeah, yeah. And you know what? Before I put this shadow on, I'm going to just practice discipline here. And I'm going to put a little bit of loose powder underneath the eyes. So the loose powder is going to help catch any fallout. The loose powder is just literally, it's just going to sit on the top of your skin, right underneath your eye.
Okay.
And I just kind of roll it on. I don't really want to pack it into your skin too much. It's just there to catch any color fallout. And then this will easily be swept away with the powder brush once we're done with your eyes. Okay, so I'm gonna just pick up Rogue Angel. I'm just using an all over eye brush. And this particular shade, it's gold, it does have glitter in it. The best way to apply glittery shades is to really press the product onto the eyelid rather than sweeping it on. That'll help control the glitter fallout, and it'll also maximize the coverage. I always try to keep the first application just below the crease of the eye. We can always pull it up, but I like to just get a visual of how your eye's carrying it. Your eye loves this color. So now I'm just patting over another layer of the gold, just building it up. And I'm not going to worry about getting it too precise because I am trying to build a look here that has a rock and roll vibe to it. And when I think rock and roll, I think a little messy.
A little messy.
There is a shade in here that's called Gritty Pretty, and that's the black shade. But the Gritty Pretty kind of terminology is also another word that kind of summarizes the Eddie Funkhouser spirit. So, you know, it's all about having an edge, but being pulled together in a really kind of nice, you know, complete way. So Gritty Pretty, I think that's a
perfect name for it.
I think so. And we'll get some of that on you in a second. But right now we're just finishing up the Rogue Angel. Okay, so we spoke about Gritty Pretty. That is the blackest shade in this palette. And when I say the blackest shade, it's not just in this palette, but it's one of the most saturated shades that I've created that is black. It really has like such great payoff to it. So for this application, I'm gonna go back to what I used. I used my angle eyeliner brush for your brows. I'm gonna go back to using an eyeliner angle brush for your liner. And I'm just touching the point of the brush to the black. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm gonna use the point of the brush to line just really almost tight line the lower lash line. So tight line just means that I'm working right into the lashes. So I'm not above the lashes, I'm not below the lashes, I'm right into the lash line. I'm going to do the same thing on the upper lash line. I'm just going to tight line the upper lash line. I will go over this with a cream pencil as well. But right now I'm just trying to get a feel for how much drama I can infuse your eyes with. So we still have some work to do for the completed eye look, but you can see how we've kind of evolved.
Oh yeah.
Is it happening?
Looks like I'm almost ready for it out.
Yeah. Okay, so now Rock Diva. So Rock Diva is this really beautiful, here I'll just swatch it on my hand so you can see, show the camera as well. So Rock Diva is a little bit of a burgundy brown. It's more about the effect. Do you see that effect when I turn it?
Uh-huh.
Can the camera see the effect? So you can see the effect when I catch light differently. Okay, there we go. So it has almost like a foil finish to it, but the color is really beautiful. It's a reddish burgundy, more on, I don't know, it's a nice balance, right? I was going to say more on the burgundy side, but...
Yeah, you can see the burgundy as you're moving your arm.
So I'm going to add that just into the outer corner. And I'm just placing it in kind of a triangular shape on the outer corner of the eye, and then I'm going to go back in with a blending brush and I'll soften that up. All right, so right now it's really structured, it's not blended, but I just want to give you, again, just want to give you a look of how we evolve from one shade to the next shade. Okay, so Rock Diva is the shade that we just applied. It's that burgundy, brownish burgundy shade. Now I'm going to just use my blending brush. This is a clean brush. There's no product on it whatsoever, and I'm just going to use this back and forth in a sweeping action until I soften the edge of that last shade we placed in the outer corners of the eye. And blending takes time. It's one of those things you don't really want to rush, because the more time you take with it, the better the blend, and you get a more diffused edge and a more natural gradation of color. Turn it this way. Now, as I blend, I'm keeping the tip of my brush more to the top of the color that I'm blending, and I'm just letting the back and forth action take that powder, you know, moving it around just ever so slightly so we get a really nice diffused edge. Okay, so now that I've blended the eye, I want to actually punch up that deeper color. I like where the eyes are going. And it's just like me to kind of take my time with evolving a look. I really, again, want to make sure that whatever look I'm creating on my model is something that she can actually pull off. And bringing the darker shade just into the crease, really defining the crease. And then right under the brow, I like to just sweep a little bit of color. So I don't want it to be too saturated, but I just want to sweep a little bit of color under there to add a little bit of a contour to the eye area. So when you open up your eyes, you're going to have a smoky or more dramatic kind of feel to the eye. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my blending brush and I'm just going to pass over top of what I just did to blend that out a little more. Yeah, exactly. Follow the crease. Follow the crease. I'm going to go back to the smaller brush I was using, still using Rock Diva, which is that burgundy shade, and I'm going to go underneath your lower lash line. So now we're gradating from black to the Rock Diva into the gold. So really concentrating that third shade, like the transition shade, concentrating that more towards the outer portion of the eye. You can definitely sweep it over across the eye, the full length of the lower lash line, but I'm going to kind of keep it more towards the outer corners of the eye. This is going to give me a smokier, more dramatic effect for the eye. Okay, so now I want to bring a little bit of a highlight to the brow bone, and for that I'm going to use Foxy Roxy. Love the name of that one, Foxy Roxy. So Foxy Roxy is a really soft, peachy pink. So in the palette it looks more, would you say pink? Soft pink? Champagne?
Yeah, champagne.
We like to drink, so we say champagne, right? Okay.
That's where I go.
Okay, so I just dip my finger in there. You can see Foxy Roxy on the tip of my finger. As I swatch it on my hand here, you can see that it really kind of dissipates into a very soft, pinky glow. Yeah. So this is really perfect for the brow bone, for the inner corner of the eye. Now it's not a matte shade, and most times for the brow bone you'll want to use more of a matte shade, but this is a rock and roll look. So we're going to go ahead and apply just a little bit of that to the brow bone. Not going to be too heavy-handed with it, just ever so slight touch of color to brighten up and catch some light along the brow bone. All right, so now it's time for lashes. How do you feel about curling your own lashes? Is this like your best friend, or just totally unfamiliar?
I actually don't think I've ever used one of those.
You've never used a lash curler?
No.
Ever? Let's look at, well, you kind of have a natural curl to your lashes, so I could see why, but I'm all about being extra these days. So I think even though you have a little bit of a curl, we should curl them a little bit more.
I could probably use an extra curl.
This is a perfect time to just kind of maybe instruct or teach my technique for curling lashes. So maybe I can do the first side, I'll explain it, and then I'll help you, I'll guide you through the other side. So hold on to that mirror for now. We'll come back to that in a second. So if you think about your lash as a curl, like visualize the curl of your lash in your mind. At the very base of your lash, you want to position your lash curler. So that's going to be the first spot where your lash starts to curl.
Okay.
And so to do that, I'm just going to have you, you can look down. When you do this to yourself, you're going to find it's a lot easier. So just tell me, do you feel any pinching?
Not at all.
Okay, so that's a good thing. And what I want to do is I want to just kind of press down on the lash curler about 3 or 4 times, right at the base of the lash. Now I'm going to open up and I'm going to scoot the curler forward about halfway up the lash. Let me go back, reposition. So I'm about halfway up the lash now.
Okay.
Do you feel any pinching?
No, not at all.
Okay. I always ask just in case, but I have a pretty good track record. Pressing again 3 or 4 times to create a curl in the middle of the lash. Now I'm going to bring it all the way forward as much as I can to the tip of the lash. Any pinching there?
Nope.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to remove the curler. And that did give me additional curl to your lash. Okay. So that was really easy for me. Let's see you do it. All right. So first of all, I think to get the best comfort level out of it is just to not be afraid of it. So before you squeeze the lash curler, before you squeeze it, you're just going to give it a gentle pinch and make sure that you're not pinching any skin. So just go ahead and position that over your lash.
Okay.
Take your time.
So I want to go all the way to the...
Yeah, as far back as you can go without pinching yourself.
How's that?
Yep, and now you're not going to give a death grip to it. You're just going to gently squeeze. Yep, you blinked. There we go. No, just gently squeeze. You can kind of keep it pressed together and just pulse it. 2, there you go, 3, 4. Now bring it up about halfway. It's okay, take your time. Again, not a death grip, just gently pulsing. If you squeeze too hard, you're going to crimp the lash, and that's what we don't want. You'll get a straight effect instead of a curl.
Okay, now
and then bring it forward as far as you can to the tip of your lash. And you have long lashes. You can come forward a little bit more, right there. And then just pulse it about 3 or 4 times. All right. What do you think? See how it has given you additional curl?
Yeah.
All right. First time for everything, right? There we go. Now I'm going to apply a healthy coat of mascara. This is my Quattro Variable Lash Mascara, an award-winning mascara, so I have to gloat about it a little bit. This features, I'm going to have you hold that for me. This features an effect style, and the effect style is here at the end of the cap. So
what does that
there's
do?
4 different positions that I can twist the brush into. Do you see the brush twisting?
Yeah.
So the more twisted of a brush that you use, the more volume, the more fullness you're going to get. Length and volume. Fullness and volume are the same thing. Length and volume. So setting it on the first setting is just going to give you a more natural lash effect. So it's going to just give you a gentle coat of mascara. It's going to separate your lashes. So you're going to have a more natural looking lash. If we dial it all the way up to 3 to 4, that's going to give me a little bit more of a gathered lash. So it's going to make your lash look more voluminous. And it's also going to bring length to your lashes. So
okay.
I'm gonna set it on 3. It's kind of a nifty little contraption here. Gives you 4 mascaras in one. A lot of people do what I learned is called stacking. So they'll have 2 or 3 different mascaras in their makeup arsenal, and they'll put one on first to give a natural look, and then they'll switch to another one. So this brush allows you to kind of
one.
Exactly. And if you just kind of continue to look where you're looking, I'll control your lid up here. Won't let this get out of control on me. And this formula is a tubing formula, so it really coats each individual lash. And when it's time to take it off, all you have to do is, in the process of washing your face, the tubing formula will swell and it'll literally slide off your lash. Sometimes people have come to me saying, oh, it makes my lashes fall out. It's not your lashes falling out. It's the tube that is created around your lash that literally swells and it just slips off your lash. So you probably are familiar with when you wash your face with more traditional mascaras, you get more raccoon eyes before you get clean eyes.
Yes.
So that's not going to happen with this formula. I don't get quiet often, but this is one of those times. Yeah. Lashes and liner. Now the eyes are starting to really fall into place. She's got lashes. You give good lash, so. Okay, go ahead and just look up while I work on your lower lash line. A lot of times, we'll spend a lot of times coating the upper lash line and not really giving a lot of love to the lower lashes. And the lower lashes, if you can get enough mascara on them, it helps to frame your eye again. It just brings an extra punch of drama in a good way. You know you're working those lashes, huh? Just like feeling it. So for that last bit of additional drama, I'm going to call on my Graffiti Cream eye pencil. This is a fantastic formula. You'll have about 15 seconds of application time before it actually dries down. Once it dries down, it's going to stay put. It's not going to go anywhere on you. So if you're looking, if you're going to go out dancing, this is one of those liners that you can really depend on. The other reason I love it is for the waterline. So on the inner edge of your lower and upper lash lines, eyelids, I should say, the inner edge. This is great because it's going to stand up to any kind of moisture or water that's there. So it will hug onto your skin and it'll stay there throughout the day. A lot of times when you're lining the eye like this, it easily kind of disappears throughout the day. So I'll do one quick application on each side. I'll let it set for a second and then I'll come back and go over it. Now I'm going to do the upper lash line, and what I'm going to have you do is just look down.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to get rid of the powder, that loose powder that we placed underneath the eye. Now when you sweep this powder away, it may look a little brighter under your eye than the rest of your face. That's absolutely okay. As you continue your application and I put the bronzer on, finish your lip application, by the time all of that happens, this area is going to warm up and you're just going to have a nice little touch of brightness. You're not going to see a white powder effect there. Okay, so now we have cheeks and lips left. So before I get to the cheeks, I'm going to bronze you up a little bit. I want to just give you a little bit more color to your complexion, a little bit of drama without going too crazy. Okay, so this is my Ultra Definition Bronze and Sculpt Powder. It has 5 different shades in the pan there. The intended use of this is to combine all 5 shades. So all together they make perfectly the perfect, blended all together, they make the perfect terracotta shade. Now, so why did I create 5 different shades in the pan if I'm going to blend them all together? This can also be used for individual eye colors. And I have a video up on my YouTube channel where I'm showing the glow drops and how to pair them with the bronzing powder. And in that video, you can see me using each one of the shades for eyeshadow as well, which gives you a really nice eye look. But for now, we're combining them all together. I'm using a contour brush. I like to hold the brush in this direction because that fits right into the lowest point of your cheekbone. Okay, so now for the cheek color. This is my favorite cheek color, not necessarily because of the color, although I love the color, but because of the name. It's called Peep Show. I know, right? Kind of sexy, kind of fun. A little racy.
Does it have a little purple in it?
It does. It has a little bit of a plum edge to it, but it has a perfect little mixture of that plum and pink together.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it just gives you more of a flush look rather than too heavy of a pink tone. So I load the brush and then I just kind of tap out, load the brush and then kind of tap out all the excess. And then using the tip of the brush, similar to when I was using the tip of the eyeliner brush, just use that to flick color onto the apple of the cheek. And if you smile just ever so slightly, we can see the apple of the cheek right there. So I'm super excited to introduce, this is really a sneak preview, you know, depending on when it is you're watching this video, but this is a very new product that is going to launch in just a month or so. It's called Twisted Kisses. For now, I'm just gonna go ahead and show the color off by applying it to your lip. Now, when I created these, it's typical for pencils like this to have more of a dome shape to them, but I insisted that we do somewhat of a chisel to it, so we have that point that we can use to actually line the lips. Okay, so now I'm going to just revisit the brows really quickly. I think I want to just strengthen them a little bit.
About flowers.
All right, I think this look has captured a little bit of your dramatic side. I would never call you a drama queen because that's my job, but well, thank you so much. So this look was, you know, I wanted to show off my Rockstar palette, and then of course, you know, I revealed a bunch of other products in the process. I'm starting to see the glow drops really starting to come through your foundation. You might want to take another look, and you probably can capture that. So a few minutes ago, you were looking a little bit more mattified, powdery, but if you just kind of pay attention to the forehead, the areas where I don't have color over top of you, you start to really see those glow drops kind of start to come through. So the more time that goes by, the more you're going to start to see your skin just become naturally radiant and illuminated because of the glow drops. So it's a very important first step before applying the rest of your makeup. It just loans to the bigger picture of a finished product. So anyway, thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time. Again, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and sign up for alerts, and I will see you on my next video. Bye-bye.